like, see when people say like you got to paint like what you feel, I've always, as like quite a cynical Scottish person, I always think, oh, there's no feelings involved, but that's kind of a bit of a shift, and is actually very true. If you just go, I'm going to do this because I feel like this is right. It feels like the
Hmm.
mood for the painting. I feel that just comes with that. So it wasn't really, yeah. So I guess at the start when I was trying really hard to have a style, I didn't really like any things, but I guess if you just do what you feel, no one's feelings are the same as each other. So I guess it comes out
Yeah.
in that aspect.
Fork in the road between thriving and starving artists is where I'm at. I really like your work. I can't eat lights. I need new heights. Just want to make a living doing the work I love. Throw the notion of a starving artist out the window. Take the elevator down to the ground floor and jump on it some more.
Hello and welcome to the Fork in the Road podcast again. And today we are lucky enough to be speaking with Mark Sibb, an oil-based. You're based in Glasgow, but you're also oil-based as well. How are you going today?
I'm good, Andy. Thank you for having me. Excited to do this.
Cool. So what have you been working on lately?
A lot of things. There's one piece there I keep going back to, but I kind of switch between more fun stuff and then get a wee bit feeling emotional and do a bit more of a serious thing. So yeah, it just chops and changes really. I've picked up my pace a bit more, so I tend to be able to do probably about one a week. So yeah, I don't really have a big list of ideas currently. It just kind of pops up and then get to it.
Yeah, cool. And so what's your creative journey been from the beginning to and to where you are now? And has there been kind of any like forks in the road to get you here?
Yeah, I guess I've always drawn. And then I think with a lot of people, COVID was the thing that kind of started things. You're kind of locked in. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try that, pick up that drawing thing. And I did graphic work for ages. And it was just uploading a photo. And then, yeah, there has been dips, with things outside of work, but it's on a kind of steady trajectory just now. I think I go through spells, particularly in the first 2 years. I went through spells of not really taking it too seriously. And then when the going gets tough elsewhere, I just hang it up. But I say over the last like two and a half years, I've been a lot more consistent with it. I've been putting a lot more money into it. I've been putting more time into it. I've been picking up the pace because I think that was the real killer. Was I was so hyper realism, which took a wee bit of the joy out of it, but also took the time. It was like one of them, honestly, I must have spent about 150 hours on because I was.
Yeah.
So that was, I think that's probably what made me crash a bit and stop for probably about 6 months, but it's been doing good now. A bit more fun with it, a bit more looseness, higher output.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed with your work, and I'm not sure because I know nothing about oil painting. I'd like to one day. It's on the bucket list. But I do know that with oil-based painting, you get a layer down, you get your blocks of color down, and then you kind of build them up. And it's kind of layer upon layer kind of thing, but oil-based painting. But I don't seem to see that with you. You seem to be just like going straight in and getting it done. Am I missing something, or what's your process there?
No, it kind of depends. Yeah, particularly at the start, it would have been that. But when you try to do stuff a bit quicker, you can kind of work a bit on wet. So you don't have to worry about the layers too much. And then you can, if you use like medium, so I use this thing called a Glyquin Original. I think it was at Andrew Tischler. Tischler is from New Zealand.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was, I just used to watch him religiously on YouTube and he used that. And if you use that effectively, you kind of use less and less of it and then you get more oil. So the layering is okay because the underlayer dries quicker than the top layer because that's kind of where a lot of it comes from, the complexities with the layers. So say I put a big thick blob of oil paint and then 6 hours later I put a thinner coat, that would cause hell. That would cause all this cracking. So if you work out like the thickness of the layers and like how much medium to use. It's okay just going at it. But when you work in kind of wet on wet, like all kind of in one sitting, it's not too much of an issue because everything kind of dries at the same time. But yeah, it's a complex thing, oil paint. It takes a lot, a lot of it takes the, I think it scares a lot of people off. Aside from the price of it and it stains everything, that's the other part. It's like almost like a science. And watch enough YouTube videos and have enough disasters, remember.
Yeah. Was there something in particular that attracted you to oil painting, considering you came from more of an illustration background?
To be honest, I think it started with just colour. I wanted just colour. So you don't even see this piece. There's a wee Woody and Buzz piece there. That's coloured pencil. I went through for about a year and a half, quite working solely with coloured pencil, just because I wanted that brightness. But it was more of a time thing, and coloured pencil is very unforgiving. So if you make a mistake, it's very difficult to put something on top of that. So I think that was kind of where it started. But I actually did do one or two paintings in acrylic at the start of the journey, but I feel it's the saturation of acrylic. I think some things it works very well, but I for example, like I really like using like a really dark tone to bring something out, and like really like the iris of an eye or the pupil of an eye. I think with oil painting, you can use certain tones and certain mediums that allow high saturation. I think that's the main reason behind it.
Yeah. And how did you find, because your artistic style I've found it to be very distinct, and I'm just wondering if there is a period of time which took a while to get there or whatever, because a lot of artists talk about, trying to find your style. How do you find your style? And what was your process, and when did you actually know that you've got a style, you've developed one?
Well, thanks for that's news to me until you just told me there. No, to be honest, that's a very good question, because I used to always think, oh, I need to do this because no one else is doing this. But then it's only probably been the last year where, like, see when people say like you got to paint like what you feel, I've always, as like quite a cynical Scottish person, I always think, oh, there's no feelings involved. But that's kind of a bit of a shift, and is actually very true. If you just go, I'm going to do this because I feel like this is right. It feels like the mood for the painting. I feel that just comes with that. So it wasn't really, so I guess at the start when I was trying really hard to have this style, I didn't really like any things. But I guess if you just do what you feel, no one's feelings are the same as each other. So I guess it comes out in that aspect.
Yeah, and I suppose that's what creates, makes it art in itself. It's like it's coming from within. It's what you feel, it should be. And for anyone who's just listening on the podcast, I mean, my best description is like you would have some elements of quite realism, quite sharp realism within your paintings, and a lot of the rest of the painting is either obscured by more paint or by kind of motion of colors and things like that. Does that sound true to what you think your style is?
Yeah, I guess, I think that is kind of what I quite like to have 2 or 3 focal points. I think it kind of started because I used to have such a tedious approach to painting, which is why some of them took like 150 hours, where I'd literally get my phone, go in the crop and zoom in on each pixel and then match the colour of each one. This is terrible. And you get something that looks like a photograph, which I think is a novelty at the start because you're like, oh, I did that. After a while, I don't want to create that photograph. So I think, I think a part of it goes because I think if you have a bit of realism, if all of it's in perfect realism, nothing really stands out and nothing actually, there's nothing to contrast it with. So that's what I quite like to do. I like to have one anchor point and then just go a bit to town. And I used to always try that approach. It never used to work. But then like 2 things really helped that, which is one, the painting, what you feel, don't think, I'm going to do this stroke. Just have like a feeling that why you did the painting, and then just go for it. And that's a good thing with oil paint. If it doesn't work, you can paint over it. But then the second thing is have one point that's very good. So I often do like an eye or something. And then once you have that one point that's very good, you find these kind of experiments do work very well. Whereas if I just did them off the bat, well, there's nothing good to kind of contrast it with. None of these abstract sort of stuff ever really worked out. So yeah, that's kind of where that kind of comes from, that sort of contrast in detail versus chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost has, in that sense, you kind of get that effect in cinema in a way, like, when you're pulling focus on an object, or you've got that bokeh effect of the fuzziness in the background and
Yeah.
the sharp image in the foreground.
Yeah.
Except, because you're working with paints, you can bring in kind of any otherworldly kind of feeling around it, which I think is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the cinema, yeah, they do the very low aperture. Yeah, similar approach there.
So I just wondering, how do you balance, because your work is for sale, you have a very professional website, many artists don't, and so like I'm just wondering, how do you balance, and when you're making a piece of artwork, do you think I could make this because it would sell, or do you make them just purely because I'm making this thing because I want to make it? Is there a balance between your kind of personal work that you feel right from your heart and things which you think might actually go out the door?
Yeah. No, it's very much the latter. It's just things that I would 100% like. There's actually one painting, which is probably about 3 years ago now, and it's by far the most successful one. It sold instantly, got print, and it's the one painting I did where I was like, this will sell, because it's kind of an abstract one with Glasgow, and it's
Mm-hmm.
one that I'd never have up on my wall. I don't like it at all, and that was one that I was at a point where I was just like, I need to actually do stuff for the consumer, and I guess it worked. But yeah, it's one paint that I don't like at all. I think if you do stuff for yourself and what you want on your wall, I think that kind of authenticity kind of is shown through, and then I guess you'll
Mm-hmm.
get a small handful of people that like that stuff. I think very much I think the approach of trying to get it for someone's wall kind of would work if I lowered the price a lot, but yeah, I don't think I'd produce very good work if I was doing it for someone else and what I think the
Yeah,
consumer would
yeah,
want.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely best if it's coming from your heart, that's for sure. And so with this one of Glasgow, this painting of Glasgow, what was for sale? Like you said, it sold quite fast. Whereabouts were you showing people? Was it in an exhibition or on your website or social media? How did that go down?
So that was at an exhibition. I think it was called Fine Artists of Glasgow. It was a Glasgow like sort of competition where they had some unbelievable work there, and then my Glasgow painting, which was quite quite the discipline. But people liked it, and then got some print sales from it as well. I think it was kind of the same
Mm-hmm.
demographic. I think a lot of it was either people that were older or people that moved away. I think that's where the person that bought it moved away, and then they came to Glasgow. There is a good story to it. Like I like the story.
Mm.
If you know Glasgow, it's like there's a bit, and it's a kind of a boy on a wee journey, and then he spots it in the distance. But I still like that bit. But I think the fact that I had that initial thought of, oh, this will sell to Glaswegians. So yeah,
Yeah.
something in it I just don't like. I'd rather something that I want in my wall.
Just a quick intermission to say that the Fork in the Road podcast has a Patreon as well, where you get a whole bunch of special things. You get an extended hour-long advert-free things, like you get to ask the podcast guests questions. You get a blog where I deep dive things which, might help make you successful and me successful, because I'm learning along the way too. You can also chat with me one-on-one and talk about your art business and make it work together. Back to the interview.
To be a full-time artist, there is a lot of sacrifices you have to make, apart from the fact that running your own business is bloody hard. But to be a full-time artist, most artists would have to do those kinds of things and commissions
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's interesting with you because you could paint what you like. I mean, another guest I had on, Alexander Notarangelo, who does like this hyper realism. He
Oh
really
yeah,
loves
no,
it that way. He works full time as a carpenter,
yeah,
and he paints whatever he wants, you know.
yeah,
So it's an interesting approach. I can see both sides why you'd want to
yeah.
do them.
The commission side is something like I think, like you said about having a style. I think if the commissions come off the back of that and go, you have your style, people like what you put on a wall. I want to have the next one. That is where the commissions I would like to go in that direction, because it's what I would want on my wall, and you'd have to trust it. But it's the side of which some people do enjoy. Some people find it very therapeutic of just painting a picture of a family. That's the side I wouldn't be so keen on just now. But yeah, so I wouldn't say no to commissions in the future if it was just one of my usual ones.
Yeah, because there is that other element to commissions, isn't there? That you've got a particular style and someone wants a different painting, but in your particular style. I think that's the ideal place to be in as an artist.
Yeah,
You,
got
because
trust it.
I'm doing it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm doing children's book illustrations, and like if someone came to me and wanted a particular book in a style which I don't do, I wouldn't even like it has to be
Yeah,
in my style. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. And I see so many people who illustrators on Facebook groups for children's books, and like all these people just like pile in when there's when there's a project. You just go, well, how about something that someone actually connects with? You want to find
yeah,
an artist that actually, the writer connects with the style of the artist.
yeah. You can recognize it. Oh, that's yours, as opposed to just
Yeah,
copy.
yeah. Do you remember like going back to when you were starting out? When was the first time that someone actually paid for a piece of your artwork or creativity?
No, when was it? I think actually no, it was. I remember there was this this one that took ages. There's people that bought some prints for that one, and then the first original would have been that Glasgow one I was referring to, the one that I don't
Hmm.
like. So I don't know
Yeah.
where that is just now. But yeah, prints are a bit steady. I think the first one would have been this. It's like I'll send you an image after. It's kind of a gold man sitting in on a stool, which took far too long, but I got some sales out of it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then yeah, I think that probably would have been the first one. I think that was probably my second oil painting. Yeah, we will back.
And was it from that point on that you realized that you were going to turn your artwork into a business as well, or had you kind of already made plans to try and turn your creativity into a business?
To be honest, I think it was for the first year. I just would find images and I just draw them because I think there's a novelty there of I can make this look like the photograph, or that's my aim. And then
Hmm.
at that point there, it wasn't at all. But then then I kind of got to point of like, oh, I can actually choose the subject matter. I can create this reference image. Yeah, and then I just kind of went from there. I remember I tried to get 3 colored pencil drawings done. So I was like, oh, if I have a website and there's 3, I think that seems like a good number, which is nonsense now because I've only got 1 and I'm completely fine with that up for sale. But for some reason I had 3, and I remember there's a David Bowie one, there's a Woody and Buzz one, and then Shrek. There's a gold metallic Shrek.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
send that
yeah.
off. And then I put them 3 up. Yeah, and I think Woody and Buzz one got a few sales, but then it just kind of went from there. I think it kind of stemmed from wanting to create original work and not just finding a photo on Google and copying it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it just happened progressively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so for you, like, what would you consider to be a thriving artist?
A what, sorry? A
A
thriving.
thriving artist. A thriving artist, because it's something that gets thrown around quite a lot, and a successful or thriving artist.
Yeah. Do you know, it's back to that, it's just, there's yeah, it's an artist that the one I went to the workshop with, and I see that as a thriving artist. It's just like here's a few people that would buy the commissions, and just they just completely are obsessed with whatever is produced in that canvas because they understand, they trust like what you feel is going to go on to it. And then I think if you have buyers that would want that, that would be, in my opinion, like a thriving one that you can paint exactly what you would want in your wall, and you know there's a audience of people that would buy it. Yeah, and not have to worry about, oh, this person's popular, I'll just do a commission of that. I'll do a painting of this person because it'll blow up. Yeah, because that's the way I see would give you longevity of enjoyment with it, that you're just doing what you want, not but doing what you want in a canvas, and you've got a kind of community that would be interested in buying it. Yeah, that'd be it. So.
Yeah. No,
What about you?
no,
What do you
that's cool.
say?
For me, a thriving artist, because I've got the whole thing of I don't really have. I've had a large assortment of shit jobs my entire life because I'm a creative person, and I had nothing else which really aligned with that creativity. So, version of being a thriving artist would be to be a full-time artist, but I know that
Yeah,
comes with issues in itself, because I see that if you get paid enough money as an artist, enough to live, not being crazy or anything like that, but
yeah,
enough to be like a job,
yeah,
then you don't have to go out and do other jobs and exchange your time and your
yeah,
life as you're living on the planet working for someone else.
yeah,
You can be working on your own thing rather than someone else's thing. And
yeah,
I think there's great power in that. So I can see where you come from with it, but I mean it's fantastic. I wish I was in that position where I had a job and my art as well. But my creativity, I
yeah,
never really had that. I always had these entry level jobs,
yeah.
and never focused too much energy on any of those because my passion is being creative. So yeah.
No, I suppose, yeah. I suppose it allows you, yeah. My thriving artist thing would 100% still be you can do it full time. Yeah. But yeah, mine would be do it full time and yeah, and trust what you want. Like, yeah, people will trust that you can, yeah, no matter what you put in the canvas, if you like it, people will buy
Mm.
it. But yeah, it's not, well, yeah, because in my job sometimes it does wipe me out a bit. Some evenings I wouldn't even want to look at the canvas. So yeah, it's got its ups and downsides. Yeah, a sort of doing less hours, it would obviously be ideal and be able to paint more. But yeah,
Mm.
fortunate life.
Yeah, and there is also that other aspect, of talking about if you are an artist all your life and you're just painting and all you do is get up and paint every day and you're creating artwork, there is an element of something which is detached from the reality of life, because sadly, I think artists have to experience real life stuff,
Yeah,
good and bad, to create
yeah,
the passion behind a piece, or the pain or the misery behind a piece that
yeah,
can come out in the canvas or the artwork. So um sadly, I think a lot of artists are great artists are tormented because because they have that life experience as well. So yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's a tricky balance, I think.
yeah. I'm always envious of them people that think they start a bit earlier. I know a lot of people start with commissions, and then I think that is an easy way to make money at the start, and then they just transition into doing the originals. Yeah, I guess if you start with commissions, I suppose you do have that audience there, but I'm always envious of it. Like the amount you needed back then to survive. You could have just done a few commissions and then made it a full-time gig and then progressively went on. But that'd be,
Yeah, and I think it's always a good idea to stay open to commissions, or at least the idea of commissions. You don't have
yeah,
to take them on, because who knows, some one of your collectors might come up with a brilliant idea you've never thought
yeah,
about,
exactly. Yeah,
and you're going, hey, yeah, that's actually, I really align with that, and that's something I could
yeah,
do a series of paintings on, or something like that. So it's always good to have a bit of an ear to the ground as to what your
Yeah.
collectors like, but that doesn't mean that you have to do it.
No, yeah, yeah. I've done a few that yeah, like you said, if there's an idea and it's something that it's a bit of freedom there. I think the only commissions I avoid are just give me this photo because yeah, there's nothing
Yeah,
recognizable in that. But some
yeah,
people
yeah,
find it very therapeutic. I used to find that very therapeutic, just copying a photo. But so some people enjoy it a lot. It's just I think I'm too impatient.
yeah, yeah. There's a difference between, like, there is a technician element to creating art. I'm kind of finding, like, with the illustrations I'm doing at the moment for Inktober, I feel like I'm becoming a bit of a, you know, more of a technician and less of an artist, because I'm trying to somehow, like, recreate in a pen and ink style
Yeah.
the animal. And so, like, and my other style is a lot more fluid. So yeah, it's but
What other
there's
medium do you use aside from ink?
yeah. So what I normally do with my illustrations, I'll sketch them out in lead pencil on a piece of paper, just like,
Okay.
and from there I'll take a photograph of it and I'll put it into Procreate, that illustrating software
Yeah.
on the iPad, and I'll go over it, digitally, and color things and shade things and kind of turn it into a digital file that way. I'm not one of those people that can sketch straight onto a digital screen. I don't know how people can do that. It's a
Yeah.
definite acquired skill. Um, and recently I just because I absolutely love pen and ink illustrations. They really, just that black and white
Yeah.
kind of illustrations really get me. And something I'm hoping to do in the future, because I love, like, like I've got my t-shirt. This isn't my t-shirt. It's
I was
got
trying to work out
anteaters
what's
all
on
up.
it.
Yeah, it's
Look at
anteaters. Yeah.
anteaters.
And yeah, and I want to do something like that with my animals, and so I want to get into a bit of lino print stuff and print fabrics and print, like, wallpaper prints. I also get into doing turning my uncommon animal portraits. I turn them into wallpapers, like it turns into, like, some kind of pattern when you look at it from
Yeah.
afar, and then when you come in close, you notice it's the faces of all these animals.
Yeah.
So they're kind of my styles, but
Yeah.
I'm constantly getting interest. I'm trying to stay on target as well, because I'm easily distracted. And but I think that's an issue with a lot of artists. You get distracted by the shiny thing, and sometimes it's hard to stay focused on what you're trying to actually achieve.
Yeah, I think that's why I just try to speed up the process a lot more because, yeah, I very easily would stop in a piece if the enthusiasm goes or there's a difficult bit, but if there's a bit of the rushing to it, I find it, you just force it to get done before that creeps in. I also find
Yeah.
standing helps a lot when I paint. I find there's
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
a more of like an urgency, so that's something that I do a bit as well, which helps with the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it certainly helps you getting crippled over by sitting down and hunched over a table or anything.
Yeah.
Can be pretty
Sure, my
bad
standing
feedback.
posture is not good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me today, Mark. And yeah, it's been interesting watching all your things that you're doing
Yeah.
on Instagram, and we'll link all of your things in the show notes of the podcast. But yeah,
Send
it's been really cool talking to you, and I'm sure one day I'll get into oil painting as well. But it fascinates me, and I really like your stuff.
Thank you. I've got one question for you, Andy.
Yeah, sure.
Aside from me, who's your dream podcast guest? Now that you've caught me, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say it would be David Cho,
Oh,
and
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he's very inspiring, because I have some troubled mental health issues, and he definitely does as well. And
Yeah.
if you've ever seen any of his, he does brilliant YouTube videos,
Yeah.
and some of them, like, are absolutely hilarious. I'll be laughing one minute and I'll be crying the next.
Yeah.
Like, they're just as I was saying before, he's one of those artists who have really, he really has, like, he's I think he's one of the most wealthy artists on the planet, but he's also had an incredibly hard time as well.
Yeah,
And
it comes through.
that comes through in
Yeah.
his artwork as well.
No, yeah, I watch him to get gigs. I like how he just throws stuff, and it's just so different to the tiny wee brush for perfection. I like
Yeah.
his chaos.
And it's all about getting loose and letting it flow. Like, he'll be drawing a sketch over his shoulder, not even looking at the canvas,
Yeah,
and
and he hits his
stuff like
head
that.
off it as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's having fun,
Yeah,
and that's what it's mostly about, having fun and expressing yourself in a
yeah,
language which isn't written down or spoken, So
yeah.
yeah,
Tag
he
him.
would. I mean, yeah, tag him. He's done very big podcasts. I have actually messaged because why not? But
Yeah, may as well.
uh,
Yeah,
he apparently
got to.
is not on social media at all because he says it's bad for his mental health. So you never
Yeah,
expect a response from him. But
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
But
no,
one day.
one day, one day. Thank you very much, Andy.
Cool. All right. Thank you. See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fork in the Road podcast or watching the Fork in the Road podcast. For those people watching on Patreon, we also have it as a video on Spotify and YouTube. If you like the idea of chatting with artists, talking about how you go from starving to thriving, how you become a successful artist, whatever that means to you, whatever a thriving artist means. If you like this kind of thing, you can support the podcast in many ways. Apart from becoming a Patreon, you can just share it with your friends, or you could leave a review on iTunes. I think iTunes do review. Whoever does reviews, if you look in your podcast channel, if it allows you to do a review, or if you're watching on YouTube, please comment, please like, and I won't be one of those podcasts that go, you got to give a 5-star review. If there's something about the podcast you don't like, let me know. Write it in the comments and see if I can, tweak it a little bit to make it work better for everybody. But yeah, 5-star review would be pretty awesome. But anyway, check you next time.